Okay, hello everybody. Welcome. This is the first presentation in 2024. We just analyzed the US finance industry, and I'm happy to present you all the results right here today. So RealRate is a rating agency. We're using artificial intelligence to create fair and explainable company ratings. And if you're interested, just have a look on the website. All the rankings are available there. And if you are a top-rated company, reach out to us. You can subscribe for the RealRate seal of approval. Otherwise, we still have an explainable rating report for you. And we also can provide you with a workshop identifying your strengths and weaknesses compared to the industry average. So looking forward. Okay, now let's jump in. Let's talk about the US finance industry, just published. In total, we compared 50 companies within that industries. 12 out of them are top rated. And well, a lot is going on. 13 industries are new. Indeed, the number one, that's a new industry. Here we have a list of companies. You see number 1, CNL, congrats to them, until number 12, Federated Hermes. They are all top rated. So they are in the first top quarter of our ratings. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you see in total we have 50. The last of them, they do have a negative economic capital ratio. That's the figure we are employing to measure financial strength. It's something like the modeled market value divided by all sum of all assets. So that's how we do it. But let's have a look on the best rated companies. So CNL and TriLink, those are new this year. Last year, we had US Global Investors as number 1, and now they are only on 3rd place, falling behind by 2 ranks, of course. Let's have a look into CNL. So why is this a strong company? So indeed, they made it to rank number 1 with an economic capital ratio of 338 percentage points. The main tool we have for this is what we call the causal graph. So a causal graph, it's a colored picture where on top we put in the publicly available balance sheet data. And you see, this is crunched together step by step until at the end we end up with economic capital ratio. In this case, it's 290 percentage points above average. So you see, we're not just rating single companies, but we're doing all the work. We're ranking all companies in an industry, whether they like it or not, and we publish it, whether they like it or not. And this enables us to color these notes here in green if it's a strength compared to the market average. And even more, you can see for CNL, we can trace it back. So economic capital ratio is high because stockholders' equity is high, because liabilities have a favorable value, so they are small. And normally, you would need to take the balance sheet report, the annual report, 200 pages, taking hours to read. And here you see what's going on within just 2 minutes, and you have the benchmark analysis in addition too. Let's deep dive a little bit further. So what we have in addition, this is what's called the feature distribution. So we are using AI, so sorry for that. It's a little bit of AI slang. But we identified, or the AI identified, 2 major strengths. So the other liabilities being favorable You see, this is the distribution of the effects of all the 50 companies in that industry. And CNL is far above average, so it's their biggest strength. Second one is other net income. However, although being number one, they still have weaknesses, and we are able to identify them still. So it's the below average revenue from contracts with customers and the other revenues. So those are below average. And you see the profile, it's getting quite specific here. By the way, you see the ticker running down here. So all the top rated companies are listed here with their ECR. CNL is number one. So congrats to CNL Strategic Capital. Let's just have a small look into some other companies to see their strengths and weaknesses and to show you how we interpret our results here. So this year's number 3, US Global Investors, they were number 1 last year. Let's zoom in into their causal graph. So US Global Investors economic capital ratio is 248 percentage points above the market average. And this is because they have a big stockholders' equity. And this is because liabilities are low, which is again because other liabilities are low. And in this part of the causal graph, of the causal tree, you see we are dealing with balance sheet items, with assets and liabilities. But you're well aware when it comes to valuing a company, the profit and loss statement is also quite important. And we see that on the right-hand part of this graph. So comprehensive income, slightly favorable, but not a big green note yet. The only other green note we identify within the profit and loss statement, it's the above average other revenues. So again, you see within just 2 minutes, we are able to interpret what's going on. Let me just pick 2 other ones. So this is Morningstar, a well-known name, ranked on number 22 out of 50. So it's a median result. Not very good, not very bad. Let's zoom in. You see, we have green nodes being strength and red nodes being weaknesses. And like rivers flow together, they can cancel each other out. So revenues are very favorable, while expenses are not. So if those are combined into net income, it just becomes a gray node, not a particular strength or weakness. So this is how you interpret those graphs. And this is a nice one because Morningstar indeed has a lot of specificities, specific strengths and weaknesses. As you also might have seen, is the graph is different for each company within each industry. That's because the specific weaknesses and strengths, they differ from company to company. Okay, finally, General Motors ranked 35 out of 50. Let's zoom in into the causal graph. Their capital ratio is below average by 29 percentage points. Finally, if we drill back to the original causes of their slight financial weakness, it's the debt. So the debt are reducing financial strength a lot. It's much higher than on the industry average. However, their strength is the investments they made. So they increase assets on the liability side. So that's a good news here. Perfect. Let me just dive into a final graphic, because you might wonder, okay, this is how we evaluate specific companies, but can we have some information on the complete industry? And yeah, of course we can. So what we have here, this is the complete causal graph for all the industries. And you see the dark nodes are the one being important for the valuation within that specific industry, within US finance only. So we see for the economic capital ratio, the stockholders' equity plays an important role. And of course, equity is simply the difference between assets and liabilities. So most of the volatility is observed in the liabilities, and those are due to other liabilities and operating and employee liabilities. So if you're good in those key figures, you will end up on a high ranking position in RealRate's 2024 US finance ranking. Let's have a final look on the profit and loss statement. So net income is important, of course. Within the revenues, we have revenues from contracts with customers being most important. And within the expenses, we see that operating expenses and labor expenses, they play an important role. Okay, so let's wrap up. That was the summary of the RealRate 2024 US finance ranking made by AI. We use AI in combination with an expert system, really modeling the individual key figures, which enables us to finally make a causal interpretation. All done by RealRate, the first AI rating agency. Just have a look on RealRate AI. And remember, if you're top rated, you can subscribe for the RealRate seal of approval. This is our way of not having any conflicts of interest. So we do the work, we get the rating. If you like it and you want to use it, you can subscribe. Okay. Otherwise, in any case, we're always generating an AI rating report. And we're also open to analyze this together with your experts within your companies, having a small consultancy workshop. So looking forward and have a great day. Thank you.